Hi, I'm Brighton West, and I'm here at Liberty Station in San Diego with my wife and my golden retriever puppy. And today, what I'm going to be talking about is YouTube metadata. So if you're a coach and you're using YouTube, which is what I help coaches do, you want to create how-to videos and you want to make sure that people can find them. So YouTube is the second largest search engine, and metadata is what's required to make search work on YouTube. Now, I want to be clear that this is not the only thing you need to do. There are many more things that you need to do on YouTube, especially making really awesome videos. But this is something that you need to do to make sure that search works so that you can be found on YouTube. So I'm going to start by showing you that you can do this in the upload video area, but mostly what I'm going to talk about today is doing it after you've uploaded the video. So of course you're logged in, you see your icon in the upper right hand corner, and you click the video camera with the plus in it, choose upload video. And then you can select your file or drag and drop it here. I'm going to choose this one. And you can see it start uploading, and you can set some of this information immediately and a little bit more as it goes. But really, like I said, I'll show you here. You can set this stuff. You can set the thumbnail. You can set a number of different things here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to visibility. I'm going to go under Publish Now and check it as private so that I can set all of this in Creator Studio or YouTube Studio. But once again, you could do it all here. So I'm just going to click Done. And then you'll see that it's here. You can hover over this and then click the pencil icon, which is the details. And you'll be able to go through this step by step. So one of the things I want to note is that you can set defaults here so that some of these fields are pre-populated. I'm not going to cover that, but I just wanted to mention that is how mine is set up. Yours may set up to just be blank. So the first thing that you typically work on is the title. And on my videos, I actually set the title prior to recording. I do some research first, so the title is always going to be set on my videos. But on your videos, you may be still looking, you've recorded the video and you're looking for a great title. The way that I do that is to head over to this extension called TubeBuddy. This is an extension you can get for Google Chrome. You can get it for free. I have a paid version, but I'll show you some of the free features too. And you start with launching Keyword Explorer and then typing in your idea. So how to click Explore, and you'll see a score that TubeBuddy gives it. And this is based on kind of how likely your video is to show up if someone were to type in this into a search. And so a good score, 55, that's good. I would go ahead with making this video instead of just continuing to search. If you've got something down around the 10 or 20 or 30 maybe, you're going to want to find a better title for your video. It's based on how much search volume there is and how much competition there is and how well optimized that competition is. So it's basing it on the likelihood that you can rank. So there's two things here. One is the unweighted, that's the free version. That's for all videos or all video creators. And the other is the weighted. So this actually takes into account what your channel looks like and the specifics of your channel, how likely you are to rank for this phrase. So mine's looking very good, so I'm going to continue with this. You can also look through here and see which other people are ranking for this. Yeah, some great information in here. Some of these you don't have, there's not enough information unless it's really popular. They'll also have some most used tags down here, so you'll have some tag suggestions too from TubeBuddy. But I'm going to move ahead to step 2, which is to set the description. So the way I like to set the description is to start with the first sentence is a restatement of the title. So it doesn't have to be the exact words of the title. Some people do that, but I like to set it to be something very similar. So tips to set metadata on YouTube. And after that first sentence, I like to set the website, to type in the website of the business. Usually this is, for me, I'm trying to get traffic to a business web page. So I always want to make sure that that web page is within that first couple lines of the description so that someone doesn't have to click more on the video to be able to click to the website. The other thing that you have to do with YouTube is you need to type in the HTTP. Okay, so that will be a clickable link in the description. And then I like to type a couple more sentences that are related to this video. So when I'm typing a description, I like to use a lot of key phrases and words that I think people might type in. So if we go back to TubeBuddy here and look at that keyword explorer, go back here and so looking down at the most used tags here, I like to make sure that these, YouTube SEO, definitely want to make sure that the term SEO is in here, relatively close to the top. Tags, the word tutorial is good, search engine optimization. So what you can do is go through here and check off the words that you want to make sure that you use, and tutorial, search engine optimization, tips. And once you've selected a number of words there, you can go to Action, Copy to Clipboard, close this out, and then you can just paste this in here, and this is just going to be for your reference. So you want to make sure that you use these words in your description. How to set metadata on YouTube. And this, let's put it in tutorial. Okay, so you can see here that it's kind of written somewhere between being just for the search engines and being for the viewer, but you want to kind of put those words in there. And of course, you're going to go through and write out another couple of paragraphs here, going through the video, listening to the video, kind of writing out some of the details there. And it's actually nice to kind of recap the video here. So if it's like 3 tips, you would list those 3 tips down here. Really kind of, you've got about 5,000 characters that you can put in here. Currently this is using 1,200, so there's a lot more space to add information to the description. So one of the things I like to do is to put a sharing link in. So we'll just take the end of the video link from here, copy it over, and I'm gonna paste it in here. So what this is a playlist here so that if someone shares this video using this, it'll show as part of a playlist. And there's a number of other things you can put in your description. Other playlists, if you've got questions, subscriber link, you can see that here. Other Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, any options there. And then a couple of, I think it's up to 3 different hashtags. I like to include those near the end. And you can also include a question that they can use to type into the comments. So maybe you said something like, are you optimizing your metadata for YouTube? Question mark. How's it going? Question mark. Something like that. But that sets up the description so that YouTube can look in here to see how to kind of where to place your video, what people to share your video with. So the next thing down is the thumbnail, and these are becoming more and more important and something that a lot of people overlook. So you do have the option to choose from one of the 3 thumbnails that YouTube has suggested for you, taken from your video. But really, uploading a custom thumbnail is really important. So there's a couple of options that are how you can do that. You can go into Create Thumbnail. This is part of that TubeBuddy extension. So you can go in and select a frame from your video.
Do you want to know how to set metadata?
Okay, let me close that out. So that's going to be the frame, and then I can go and add some text to this too, and work through and change, what that looks like. And this is kind of an easy way to create a custom thumbnail. However, it's not necessarily the best way, and you could go through continue. I'm just going to not do this. I'm not a huge fan of the thumbnail generator, but it's better than just letting YouTube choose a thumbnail. What I like to do is create my thumbnails inside Photoshop and really spend a lot of time on making that thumbnail great. So the purpose of the thumbnail is to get a viewer to watch your video when it's being displayed next to a whole bunch of your competition. And what I've seen is that, the first quite a few videos on YouTube, when someone searches, have custom thumbnails. So I've got some information on what to put on a thumbnail, and I'll have a link in the upper right to kind of good thumbnail best practices. But for now, just know that you should do it. You can also go onto Fiverr.com and hire someone to make thumbnails for you. Or another option is customthumbnails.com. That's more of a subscription service for custom thumbnails, but very important to do. The next step down is the audience, and this is something that's relatively new at the end of 2019, I think, is when this was added. But it asks you if this is content for kids or not. And important to set this. This is part of a legal aspect of YouTube. So if you're making kids videos, toys, cartoons, things like that, you should be definitely clicking yes, it's made for kids. Otherwise, select it's not made for kids. And if you have something that really is for adults, you can set that restriction too. You still can't put pornography or anything, that's too risque on YouTube, but you can select it for viewers over 18. So the next up is tags, and this is becoming less important with YouTube, but in terms of ranking for this video, however, I find it really helpful because the TubeBuddy tool will allow you to see how well you're ranking for different key phrases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to TubeBuddy, and I'm going to look for those tags, and I'm going to add up some tags here. So how to... So once again, I'm going to copy those out to the clipboard. And the first thing I like to do in adding tags is definitely type the title of my video. So let's go for, and then at the end of each phrase, just use a comma. You can also add your name or something specific to your channel. And then let's go ahead and paste in, I'm going to Control V, paste in a bunch of those tags that were suggested by TubeBuddy. And then any other tags that are phrases that you would like to rank for. So like let's do how to add metadata on YouTube. And you can see here that as you're typing things, you've got some tags suggested down here. Those same tags are suggested down here from TubeBuddy. If you have the free version, you have a much shorter list that you can go through here and kind of look for things that you would want to do. Yes, like let's do the year. So optimize YouTube 2020. And then there's actually that one, how to optimize YouTube 2020. That was there. And you've got space here for up to 500 tags. I'd suggest kind of getting somewhere in the middle of that number. Okay, scrolling down, we see more options from TubeBuddy. So there's not much more to do there. Okay, so let's move over to the right-hand column here. So the visibility is still set to private because we haven't made this public yet. So I like to keep my videos on private until they go public and I start promoting them. So I don't use unlisted videos for anything that I want to do well on YouTube in the long term. So if I've got just a video that I'm sharing with one friend or something, I might turn it to unlisted. But a video that I'm going to be promoting, leave it on private until it goes public. And the other thing you can do is choose scheduled down here. That's something I really like, is to be able to say, you know what, I want this to go live tomorrow at, what's a good time? Maybe 6 a.m. or something like that. There we go. So, and you have the option to set this as a premiere. I haven't really used that function much, but it allows you to promote your video in advance. But I usually just say, you know, I'm going to set this to go live at a specific time on a specific date. You can also add it to a playlist. I do recommend that. Sometimes I wait until after the video has been published, especially if I'm going to be publishing this far into the future. I don't want to add videos that are private to a playlist. But, you know, maybe we're going to choose, you know, how-to videos, you know, video tips for coaches, YouTube growth tips. Just add it to a couple of playlists. That way it makes your video, gives your video another way to be found, to build up some ranking for that video. Continuing down, we have cards. So this is something that shows up in the upper right-hand corner of your video. So you can do this kind of anywhere in your video. The recommendation is to add a card where people start to fall off. So maybe you're seeing that people stop watching your video after 30 seconds or so. You'll go here and add a card. And you've got a number of options. So you can do a video, a playlist, someone else's channel. Say you're doing a collaboration with someone, or you're talking about someone else's channel. You could do a poll to say, you know, do you agree with this, yes or no, or link to an approved website. And you know, there's a list of approved websites. You can get your website approved in certain circumstances, but for the most part, it's Patreon and websites to print merchandise and things like that. You can also set this for, like I did earlier in this video, I said, I've got another video that talks about that. Click in the upper right-hand corner. So if you've got that, you can find that particular spot and then add in that video to say, okay, this is where I want, you know, a link to the video that I mentioned. And it's important to set this. I set both of these the same. So click here for a great video. I feel like it's important to add those messages there, because then it definitely pulls out across the top of the screen and gets people's attention versus just having the eye up there. So we'll create a card there. And then at this point, what we do is, it says when you're finished, close this tab. I think that process is going to change a little bit in the near future. But now we'll go to end screens. These are the screens that show up at the end of your video. I highly recommend using these, and I highly recommend designing these into your video so that when you get within that last 20 seconds of your video, you can say something like, hey, go over and if you like this video on SEO optimization, you'll love this video on selecting the right tags, or something like that. So you can kind of go across here and find that spot where you start talking about it. And I like to use as much of the 20 seconds as possible. So I even put it up on the screen before I start talking about it, as long as it's the same clip or the same cut. So I wouldn't necessarily start it here, but I would find the point when that final shot of the video starts here. And I would say add in the video that I talk about that they should watch. So there are options here where you can choose the best for viewer or most recent upload. Those are great options, but really what works the best is to choose a particular video, and it's the one that you talk about in your video. So you point to the upper right or left-hand corner of the screen and you say, if you like this video, you're gonna love this other one. Go over and watch that next, and then you pick it and you say, create that element, and then move it to the point where you point. So let's see, I'm not sure if I did that in this video. This is kind of an older video that I'm uploading again. But you just put it in that area. And you can also add elements like subscribe buttons, other channels, or a link to an approved website. Once again, similar to the cards. You'll also pull this over. I'm not completely sure where this comes into play, but just pull this over to the start of your cards. YouTube says that in certain instances, this part will get cut off, but I've never seen that instance, so I'm not quite sure. You can go ahead and click the preview and see how this works. Just take a look at it. Okay, then we're going to click Save Changes there. And once again, at this point in time, we have to close the tab. Okay, now we'll head over to More Options. And there's a couple of things on this page. If you're a local business and you want to set the location of your business, you can do that here under Video Location. You can change the category. This is seen as something that's not all that helpful, but it's good to have it set properly. It might have something to do with advertising for the most part. Typically how-to and style or education are the things that work for my channel, but find the category that most matches your channel. What is important on this page is the subtitles and closed captions. So you always want to close caption your videos. It allows people who are hard of hearing, or they speak your language as a second language, or they're at work and they can't have the sound on, or it also really helps with SEO. So by typing in the very specific words that you're saying, YouTube has a high confidence about what you're talking about in your video. So this is a great thing to do. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. One is to upload the subtitles from a service or something where you've typed them in another software. The one I like is rev.com, and I'll have a link down below if you want to use Rev. I want to say it's $1.20 per minute or so for a captioned video. You can also do this yourself, and YouTube's kind of hidden this. But if you want to do it yourself, you'll go to manage other languages, go to subtitles. This is, like I said, a little hidden, and this might move around. And you can add a language. Choose the language that you're adding. So we're going to add English. And then you can add subtitles here. Click Add. This takes you back to a slightly older interface that lets you choose different ways to do your subtitles. One is to upload a file like we had on the prior page, but you can also transcribe and auto sync. So what that does is it allows you to listen to what's going on in your video and type out the words that are spoken there. I'm going to find my way back to the video now. So usually you'll see this English by YouTube automatic, and you can go in and edit this, which is actually a nice feature because they're doing a really good job right now of getting these automatic captions really close. So all you need to do usually is add capitalization, go up to edit, and then you'd be able to add capitalization and punctuation and change things that are a little bit off and get a really good closed caption. I'm not going to do that right now. But really, for my videos, I prefer rev.com. Going down, I like to let people comment on my videos. It allows people to have interactions with me, but some people like to disable the comments. Like I said, my preference is to hold potentially inappropriate comments for review so that other comments are automatically posted. There's also a couple other options down here. I like to allow embedding so that people could post this into their website if they'd like. Also publish to subscription feed and allow notification to subscribers. This way, if someone has clicked the little bell icon, they will get a little ping that says that your video is ready for them to watch. And also if you have product placement, a couple other things down here that you should check. So those are the things to do to set the video to be most likely to be properly categorized by YouTube so that folks can find your video. So to be successful on YouTube, you definitely need to set the metadata right, but there's other things that you need to be doing. So I've got some other videos here for you to learn to be successful on YouTube. And the only thing I need to be successful in this video is for the planes to stop flying over. they come too fast. Record it though.